Hello family, my name is Chris, I am your home gamer dad, and welcome back to Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs, where our continuing adventures with the Cragheart as he is shrunk down to tiny, mini size, exploring through this world of fairies and small creatures and insects that are normal size but giant according to him, and of course just doing everything we can in order to have a grand adventure, but also try to get back to normal size. If you don't know anything about Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs, then pretty much it's a very small version of Gloomhaven. Everything fits into here. There's another little small box that has all of your other stuff in it, multiple characters, multiple scenarios, and multiple branching paths as well, depending on who you're playing as. Last time we did scenario 8, going up, which was actually the first time we had an objective that did not require us to kill everything on the board. We actually had to push down some switches and everything. If you were, what was it? If you were a different character type, you would have done scenario 9, but instead we did scenario 8. This time, though, we are moving on to scenario 10 in our adventure, Into the Darkness. The sun has gone down, but it almost seems too dark up. You know, the collector whispers, pointing you down the hall. Aspiring adventurers aren't the only ones shrunk by hail. A lot of demons come after her, too, looking for revenge. You catch menacing movements ahead. More pests. Monsters. Rendering Beetle and the Gloom Toad. Special rules. All monsters begin the scenario with invisible. Goal. Defeat all monsters. Alright, so we got ourselves another defeat all monsters scenario in here. This is a level 3 mission, so our Cragheart will start at 15 health. And we're allowed to exchange 2 cards from our deck to the upgraded version. So we're going to have 2 level 1s and 2 level 2s. And then, of course, we have our level 3 modifier board over here, which, as you can see, has a lot more pluses in the plus column, which is awesome. A bunch of 1s in the center as well. And then when you get near the bottom, you got some pushing, which is great with the ×2. And even in the bottom left, even though it's a -2, you still immobilize whatever you're targeting. So that's actually a pretty good advantage right there, even if you completely miss. As a level 3 hero as well, we're allowed to carry 2 consumable items into battle. Remember, you always have 2 hands, so you can either have 1 hand in each weapon, or 1 weapon in each hand, I should say, or something that is a 2-handed weapon. I'm actually taking a 2-handed weapon into this. The Iron Nail. During your turn, add 2 piercing to all your melee attacks. Now that's going to be very important because our enemies are kind of really shielded up at this point. That is an exhaustible item. You turn it sideways. You get it back whenever you long rest. I also have a drop of healing potion, which during your turn, I can expunge this completely, get rid of it to gain 3 health back. And then the Nightshade Pollen. After an enemy attacks, I can consume earth or darkness to poison that enemy. And I'm going to have a lot of earth in here because what I'm going to have is I have a bunch of cards here that I've already determined which ones I'm exchanging out. My 2 level 1s that I'm keeping are the Rock Slide and the Dirt Tornado. So those are staying within my hand. They just, at this point in this particular run, these are the 2 better ones right now for me to be able to do what I need to do with them. The 2 that got exchanged are Lumbering Bash got exchanged for Kinetic Assault. So now at least I have a... earth that I'll be able to infuse into the plane really quickly into the battlefield. And then Explosive Punch got exchanged for Rocky End. So that's really good as well. The only issue is Initiative. Initiative is a problem right now because they're all really high. Rocky End's at 37, the rest are in the 80s. And the enemies I fight are really fast. So I got to really be prepared to continuously be going second during this encounter. As far as my enemies go, we are familiar with the Rending Beetle. I've fought them a few times before. They do have a natural shield of 2. If they hit me, they cause bleed damage, which is me taking a damage every turn. That I can still heal with, and when I heal, it goes away. So that's a positive at least. They do have, well, it does. There's only one of these on the field right now, but it does have 12 health and can hit me rather hard. The new enemy right here are the Gloom Toads. There's 2 of these guys on the field that we have to take care of. 24, 37, 43 as their initiative. They have a natural shield as well, a shield of 3. That's why I took piercing. 8 health, which isn't so bad. It's just getting past that 3, that 3 shield. But their biggest issue is that within their first and their second column, they can poison me, just naturally poisoning. So basically in the first one, they strengthen themselves, which is giving themselves advantage. Let's see, 2 targets within 3. So they actually can boost each other up, which is crazy. And then a target of 3, which is our range of 3, which is me within 3 spaces, will get poisoned or muddled. Their next one is they have a jump of 2, so they can bypass all types of obstacles and other bad things on the field. And they have an attack of 2 at a range of 2, basically hitting me with their tongues, I would assume. And that will poison me if it hits me. Well, it will poison me regardless of anything. And then their strongest one is a move of 1. They just move. An attack of 3 at a range of 2. That's huge. And if there's still earth in the field, they can absorb it to muddle me. So I got to watch out with that too, because no matter what, if they roll the 43 and my earth's on the field, which it will be most of the time, they will be able to absorb it before I do anything, unless I have a faster initiative, which is not going to happen very often. As far as our map goes for Into the Darkness, it is pretty simple. We got 2 main traps right here. We have 2 poison traps that we can pull anyone into. They don't do initial damage. They just poison them. All the starting spots and a few different obstacles on the field as well for me to like knock around them using my special abilities. All right, let's go ahead and put the toad there, put the toad there, put the rendering beetle there, right here. Pick our first 2 cards, and then get this adventure going. All right, so the first 2 cards I'm going to start with are Rocky End and Dirt Tornado. So the thing is that each one of these enemies are invisible. I can't target them directly. So anything with a little target symbol on it means that I can't do it. So that's why with Rocky End, I'm going to use the bottom part of it, and that's going to stay in play until the end of the round. Well, until I get rid of it, but really the end of the round. The next time an enemy enters a hex adjacent to an obstacle, it suffers 2 damage. That's just one instance. It happens once, and then the card is finished, and then it comes back to my hand. But that's fine. That's early damage right there, and it'll get me to, I can move away as well. Dirt Tornado, what I can do is I can target a single square. So if I could, I can actually target this square right in the middle here, and the area of effect will still hit the toads. Now, this doesn't do much damage. It's 1 damage. I can absorb the earth for a 2nd damage, and then it'll muddle them. So really, I'm just doing this to muddle them in order to get them, rolling twice and taking the worst of both of their attacks. But for right now, that's kind of the best choice of action. As far as our enemies go, let's go ahead and see where they start. The toads are going to start at the circle right here. So they have initiative 37. I also have initiative 37. If you tie initiative, you go first. So that's actually really good. I will go before them and hit them and kind of get away. The rendering beetle has an initiative of 25. He will come right at me. 2 movement, doing 3 damage. All right, I'm just going to flip this back over so we can keep track of any conditions that I personally have. They will only be invisible to the end of this round. Basically, the way I look at it is that they cast invisibility on themselves, moved in, and then at the end of this round, they will lose the invisibility. So again, I can't target them, but at the same time, I can do an area of effect. The rendering beetle goes first. I think he can't move over this because that is an obstacle right there in the middle. So he's going to move down and over and try to get closer to me. That's good, though. Let him go down that way a little bit closer to them. I'm still just going to use my Dirt Tornado here in order to try to hit both of these toads and muddle them, and then I'm going to make a hasty retreat. Which, again, just to kind of point out, there is earth in the field as well, because I have a card in my hand that produces earth. So long as this is in my hand or on the field, it will always produce earth. Now, if I have them flipped over, I have another card in here that flips over, produces earth. I could actually produce 2 things of earth as well in a turn, which ultimately could be bad if the toads roll a plus and I can't, absorb at least one of them. But, I still need it there for me. All right, so we're going to go here. We're going to blast this area right there. So we have the full area of effect for Dirt Tornado. It's doing 2 damage. We will absorb the earth to make sure it does that. That is I'm right there. It's a space of 2. So actually, wait a minute. Hold on. Where am I aiming at? Actually, I'm going to aim at this spot over here. I realize I can't hit this toad right there. But because the Ren Beetle moved down, I can hit this spot and I can hit the Ren Beetle and this blue toad right here. So we're going to do that. We're going to aim at the toad first. First roll is a plus, so that's +2. So that's 2, 4. It bypasses 3. All right, cool. So I actually ended up doing 1 damage to this toad. That's amazing. Wow, I didn't think that was going to happen. So we did 1 damage to the toad, which is great. And I have muddled it. So the next time it does an attack, by the end of its next turn, then it'll actually have to roll 2 dice and take the worst. Now we'll go ahead and roll for the Ren Beetle, minus. So this actually would go down 1 from that attack, from the last attack, minus 2, which does 2 damage, so it doesn't do anything anyway. And we'll move it down 1 more for our next attack. That's good. I now have a movement of 3. I'm actually going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move myself back over here because I figure if I kind of run around the board and let them chase me, I should, in theory, stay out of their range. All right, round over. I managed to survive somehow. We're going to flip these over. So now we have Avalanche and Sentient Growth in our hand, both producing an air and a wind, which is nice. Earth, air and earth. That's what I meant, air and earth. I didn't mean that. Being that is the end of this round, they all lose their invisibility. So now they have made their presence known. They are here and ready to go. I don't think he is muddled. Maybe, no, he is muddled because as long as I attack and they're in the space, I believe they're muddled. I'm going to run with that. But whatever it is, it's their next attack is roll 2, take the worst. And actually, I realized I should leave Rocky End here on the field before flipping it over, returning to my hand, or else this effect will not take place because the enemies need to come close to me in order to be able to take that damage. So it stays on the field for an infinite amount of time until it triggers. It technically hasn't triggered yet. So I'm going to go ahead and play Avalanche and Rock Slide with an initiative of 75. Both of them are going to go before me no matter what because their lowest initiative is 59. So this is going to be really problematic. But based on where I am, I should be able to use something here. I will get an earth and I will get an air into the field as well. Not that I need either of those, but not that air is going to do me any good. But at the very least, if something comes close to me, I may be able to do the Avalanche and then go ahead and use the Iron Nail for a 2 piercing on all my melee attacks. That's what that is. That is a melee attack. Okay, let's go with the Toads. The Toads have an initiative of 43. They're going to absorb that earth, which is bad, unless they're not close to me. But they'll still, I don't think they'll absorb it, actually. All right, and then the Rending Beetle is a 25. So he's just going to kind of come back the other way. All right, so the Rending Beetle is just going to keep moving around. 1, 2, that is the first one. He has now achieved the trigger for my Rocky End bottom. So he's adjacent to an obstacle. He moved adjacent to that, and so he suffers 2 damage. This will flip over to the B side and come to my hand. And then he is down to 10. So, damage is damage at this point. Based on where he is, he will do an attack of 3 if he was adjacent to me, but he is not. That's also going to end his turn, so he is no longer muddled. And these guys are literally just going to go 1 and 2. They can't hit me right now because they're too far away. It's a range of 2 for both of them, and I am well out of their range for that attack. So that's pretty good. So both of them are fine. They're done, and the number 2 is no longer muddled as well. I'm just going to go ahead and try to get this beetle. So I'm going to use Rocky Slide as a basic movement, and I get to move 2 spaces. So I'm just going to move 1 to kind of get within melee of it. No one attacked me, so that's good. I'm going to use the earth, power that up. So now that's a 4 hit. It does have, a 2 shield. Do I want to Iron Nail that now? I really should. All right, we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to trigger the Iron Nail. So now it has 0 shield. Think of it as 0 shield because my 2 piercing hit both of its shields. So now we have a pretty good chance of doing a decent amount of damage here, especially if I roll a plus, which I rolled a plus. Oh, sweet. Okay, so that is 2, 4, 6. 6 damage. Awesome. The Rending Beetle is now from 10 down to 4. Thank goodness for that pierce, but I am now right in front of it, getting ready to take some damage. At the end of my turn, this is discarded because that is the B side. We don't have any more air. This will go to the B side and come back to my hand. All right, so on this turn, I'm going to be playing Crater and Lumbering Bash. I'm going to try just to kind of bash it immediately right here. My thing did go down 1, so I do have a chance of doing a complete miss. It's always the thing that could happen. But if I don't, then at least I'll do quite a bit of extra damage to it, hopefully muddle it that way. As far as crater goes, I would be able to move 3, jumping over stuff, and then I could do an attack of 3 if I absorb Earth. Right now, Earth is in the field twice because of Lumbering Bash, and I also have Sentient Growth in my hand, which gives me 2 Earth technically within the field. So I could do this if it gets my turn. It just depends on what the toads get. Now, just mind you, the toads, the only reason they did not absorb the Earth last time is because they couldn't efficiently use it. Enemies, they're not dumb. Like, they know what they're doing. They know where they're going. They're trying their best in order to do the most damage possible without wasting any extra energy or movement and things along that way. So, the toads would not need to absorb the Earth if they could not hit me. Now, that doesn't mean that that may not happen this time. We rolled a minus, so they go really soon. But they also, man, they get all kinds of good stuff at that point. And then the rendering beetle is plus. So he goes a little bit later, but oh man, he's going to do a lot of damage to me. All right, each one of the toads are going to strengthen themselves. That is their power at this point. They're going to go first. They go before the rendering beetle. There is no movement, so they stay right where they are. They can target each other or any other thing within range. I think, actually, 1, 2, 1, 2. Nope, I'm sorry. The rendering beetle is just outside of their range to strengthen that as well. Thank goodness for that, really. But they will each get strengthened. They could also poison and muddle a target, which is me, within 3 spaces, and I am just far enough away. So that's all they're doing this turn. And hopefully if I can avoid them a little bit longer, that'll run out as well, and I won't have to worry about that taking effect should they get into attack range. Speaking of attack range, oh boy, this is going to hurt. Now remember, things don't stack, and I know this rendering beetle is going to hit me, so it's going to hit me twice. Once for 2, and then another time for 2. And yeah, this is going to be bad, because if it hits me even once, like does damage, I'm pretty sure that happens anyway, but I am going to be wounded. All right, first instance, we have 2 damage plus 1, so that's 3 damage right there. So I go from 15 down to 12. You always roll the best when you're rolling for the enemies. We'll move this down, and we'll do the second attack, which happens to be a regular, which is 2. So I am at 10. I can heal myself next turn, which shouldn't be a bad thing, but I got to kill that beetle. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to use our first, I don't have any earth to absorb for it, but I do get to move 2. And I think what I'm going to do is, I don't need to move. I don't need to move at all. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do a 5 attack against, actually, you know what I am going to do first? I am going to use my Nightshade Pollen. And Nightshade Pollen is after an enemy attacks, I can absorb earth or darkness and give an enemy poison. I mean, I just kind of took it off of there, but it still would go right here. So now the rending beetle is poisoned, which means no matter what, anytime I do damage to it, at least one will always go through and avoid the shield. That's going to be very helpful. Okay, we're attacking it for 5. Don't roll a minus. Please don't roll a minus. I rolled a circle, which is plus 1. Doesn't muddle it, but that's okay. So that's 6 damage. Oh no, I kill it. Fantastic. Yes, awesome. You go down. So 2 of that damage go bypass it. So that's 4 damage. It only had 4 health left. And of course, it was poisoned. So boom, boom, boom. We can bring this down to 0. And that is 1 out of 2 enemies that we have to deal with. Why did I take out that one? We'll take, whoops, take, yeah, there we go. Right there. That's fine. So 1 enemy down, 2 to go. These guys I definitely need to take down with range. If I try to get close to them, unless I have something really strong, like a nail or whatever, then I am in trouble. So what I need to do is, I'm just going to move 3, 1, 2, 3, all the way to the corner up here and do nothing else. I'm not going to absorb that earth because they're too far away. It's a ranged attack and everything. So we're going to leave it at that. So this A flips over to a B, and that goes to my hand. So I know I have my 2 cards. These go up here. You guys really can't see that discard pile, so I'm just going to move these guys over a little bit right there just so you can see more about that. That's the lost pile. If it's lost, I'm just going to remove it from the game, so it's fine. Well, the scenario anyway, so it would be removed from the scenario. 78, no matter what, the toads are going to go before me, which is fine, but I have a Sentient Growth, which is going to heal me, which is fantastic, and it has a ranged attack on it as well, and then Dig Pit, in which I will go invisible. Going invisible is going to be fantastic because that is the perfect time to do it, because then on the next turn, I can long rest, get all of my cards back except for 1, and then go on the offensive, and my iron nail will reset. All right, so let's roll for the toads, see what they're going to be doing. They're going to stay at 20. Oh, wow. They're actually staying right where they are at 24. They're not doing anything. They're, again, just doing that. Man, they want me to go to them? I don't like this. Well, the attack for sentient growth doesn't do anything, but at the very least, I can heal back up to 13. So that's done and fine. We now have to use the bottom here. So I get to go invisible. So they can't target me at all so long as I am invisible. And that'll be until the end of my next turn. I can move to and immobilize any enemy. So I am going to start moving my way down just to maybe get a little bit closer to them when I become visible on the next turn. Now, everything is in the discard pile. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take this out. We are going to go ahead and do a long rest right here. So I have the initiative of 99. The toads are also a minus, so they, again, are not moving. Not that they would move. Even if I had rolled a circle or a plus, they wouldn't move because there's nothing for them to target. So this round is kind of like foregone that way. So they have done their thing. They're continuing to be strengthened, which I do not like. I now am going to be taking these 4 cards, and I have to choose one of them to get rid of permanently. But at the very least, my iron nail is back. So I can get in close and hit them for a strong attack if need be. All right, so I'm going to get rid of Rock Slide. I turned a light off. Maybe that'll be a little bit better and not make things so shiny. We'll see as I... I hope so. That's why I put the scanned images up there for you guys, just so you can see them. I'm going to get rid of Rock Slide permanently, so now my hand is down to 3 cards, each of which, of course, are all double-sided. I am going to play Dirt Tornado and Lumbering Bash. Now, again, my initiative is 82 at best, but I have a few different options here that I can use depending on what the toads do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put Earth into play because that is what Lumbering Bash is going to give me. And it'll hopefully get them closer to me, so this way I can take them out with my Iron Nail next turn, but we shall see. All right, they roll a minus. Man, they are just not moving, and they're continuing to strengthen themselves. Really don't know how much I like that. All right, I'm going to try something. This is going to be an extreme gamble right here, but we're going to go ahead and do... the bottom half here for Dirt Tornado for a movement of 3. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to use Lumbering Bash. Movement of 2. 1, 2. Puts me right into melee range with this one Gloom Toad. And it's a 5 attack. This actually moves down 1 because I did that last turn. Man, he has a thing of 3. I could kill it. I could with a plus. A plus would kill it. A plus would kill it either way, even without the iron. Without the iron thing. And that would pull it. Otherwise, all right, we're gonna take a chance. We're gonna take a chance. It's a 1 in 3 chance to get a plus. Come on, Cragheart. Let's go. Yes, yes, there it is. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank gosh. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that was great. All right, so it's the time 2 multiplier. So I'm doing 10 damage to this thing. It has 7 health and 3 shield, which is a total of 10, which is fantastic because that means that this Gloom Toad has been defeated. Yeah, awesome. Man, that's getting lucky on these rolls and the fact that these guys just don't want to move anywhere. Now, we still have 1 Gloom Toad left, and there's a great chance now that I am this close to it that he is going to start really hammering me. But I still have my healing potion, I have my iron nail, and I can use my avalanche and other things along that ways. This does go down 1, which means I can immobilize it and run away if I really, really need to. All right, I'm going to play Rocky End and Dig Pit in order to kind of buff myself up a bit. Now, I've lost, I got to take that off, my invisible, that doesn't count anymore. I can use the bottom end of Rocky End, which is a movement of 3. Next time an enemy enters a hex adjacent to an obstacle, it suffers 2 damage. That's unavoidable, remember. And then I can immediately do Dig Pit, which is up here. I can boost myself for my own advantage, which is amazing. And the next time an enemy enters a hex within 2 of me, they suffer 3 damage, are muddled, and immobile. So I can leave I can't leave these out there, unfortunately, because I only have 1 card in my hand, so something needs to come back to me. But I'm kind of hoping that the frog rolls a plus or a... I hope the frog rolls a plus. Would the plus do it? Yeah, we'll say the plus would do it. That's not here. We actually have air in the field. So yeah, plus should be fine. They've only been rolling minuses with their turn. So let's see what we get. We get a circle. Okay, so we get the circle. That's actually not so bad. And again, the positive point about that is even though that they have a 37 as well, because we tied, we get to go first. All right, to make sure that it does the damage to me, I need to be just enough back. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and that's it. That's all I'm going to go. So now the next time an enemy enters a hex next time it enters a hex adjacent to an obstacle, it's going to deal 2 damage, which is going to be wherever it moves, it's going to come at me. Now I get to go ahead and buff myself, so I'll put that on my conditions, and my next attack against the toad will have, advantage on my next turn. Problem is that the toad is going to have it as well. So now it's going to go 2. It's going to jump 2, so it's going to avoid obstacles, but it's going to go 1, 2. So it's going to be right there. Because it moved to a space adjacent to an obstacle, it suffers 2 damage. And because it's in a hex within a range 2 of me, it's now suffered 3 more damage. So that's 5 damage. It's muddled, so it takes away its advantage, and it's immobile. I actually kind of realized as well, I probably should have been wounded for a while because I did get that condition placed on me from the rendering beetle, but it healed, so it kind of went away. So I'm going to just compensate that by taking 2 health away from me just to be safe, and I will say that that is the compromise. Now then, over here, the muddle would go on to the toad, but because it has strengthen, it kind of just cancels each other out. That 5 damage I did to it does avoid all shields, so it is down to 3, and it's immobile. So no matter what, it can't move. However, it does have a range 2 of a 2 attack that is coming at me that is going to poison me. All right, so this is the enemy turn, and it does a plus. Of course it does a plus. So it's 2 damage plus 2, 4 damage. And I am poisoned. So we put that up there. 1 over here. 2, 3, 4. So I am at 7. And the next time that I heal, it just removes the poison. It doesn't actually remove, it doesn't heal me. All right, move that down. A flips over and Dig Pit goes in here. Now I only have 2 cards in my hand. I have Sentient Growth, which will heal and get rid of the poison at least. And I'll actually put that in there. And then I also have Avalanche. I think I'm going to play these obviously with an initiative 75. The toad cannot move, but where it is, it's going to hit me regardless of anything, unless, well, no, it's going to hit me regardless of anything. It doesn't matter. If it rolls a 24, it takes away my, advantage ability. If it rolls minus, it does that. If it rolls a plus, it takes away my advantage and takes away my earth. Okay, all right. Well, in any event, let's see where it goes, and we'll just figure it out from there. It is a minus. So it doesn't go anywhere, but it does strengthen itself once again. I am already poisoned, and because it muddles me, it nullifies my advantage. So I'm just regular attacking. Okay, here we go. We're going to use the bottom part of Sentient Growth. So I moved forward. I can move 2 technically, but I'm only going to move 1. So I'll move 1 there. Heal myself for 1. That technically doesn't heal me, but it does remove my condition for poison. I realized I probably could have poisoned the frog a while ago. I'll remember that going forward. I will actually, just to make sure I'm surviving this, take my drop of healing potion and expunge that from the game, bringing me back up to 10 health. So I have enough health in order to survive the rest of this encounter. And the bottom of Sentient Growth does give me a 2 attack, which I will definitely take right now. 2, I don't think this is going to do anything. No, so that's a 2 attack plus 1. It has a shield of 3. It doesn't do anything anyway. That's fine. I really just wanted this to jump back up to the top. Because by doing that, I've now activated Avalanche, and I'm going to trigger my Iron Nail. So that reduces its shield by 2 because it's a pierce of 2. So I only have 1 shield that I have to get through. I will go ahead and absorb earth. So that is a 4 base attack, and hopefully we'll get a plus in order to officially kill it. Actually, a plus or a circle. That's 2/3 of the dice that I should be able to defeat it with, right? Yes, that's a plus. So that is 2 additional attacks, so 6 damage. It would have killed it anyway because its shield was at 3, whatever, but I knocked that down to 1 shield. It had 4 health. Boom, boom, boom. This toad has been smushed, launched into the air, finally defeated. And there you go, Into the Darkness completed, all adversaries exterminated. The last of the critters falls under the glow of the moonlight, and you look up to see, beyond a doorway, the much discussed window. We'll just climb that dresser and then be on our way to the crooked bone, the collector explains. Easy. You are very skeptical. If you're playing as a tinkerer, play scenario 12, gathering materials. All others, which is what we'll be doing next time, play scenario 11, up to the window. And there you have it. Nice, quick, and easy. It's the one thing I really, really like about Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs is that each one of these scenarios, because you're just doing this whole thing solo, does not take an extreme amount of time, and the turns go by pretty quickly, mainly because it's just dice roll and you just follow the lines and that is it. So this could go south really fast. I actually had 2 practices before I did this fight in order to just kind of get a layout of the land and everything, and I lost both of them. That first one I lost really, really bad. I ended up getting right next to, or really close to the rendering beetle without really intending it. I miscounted my steps. He came up on me. I was already poisoned. He hit me for, let's see, he hit me for 2 plus 1 in the poison, and I think plus another 2, so that was 5. And then he hit me again for like 3 or 4 damage. So he knocked me down so bad. And then these toads, this one, I got lucky because they stayed at this 24 initiative for like the whole thing, which was crazy. They just kept sitting there and croaking and Budweisering themselves, and that's really all they were doing. And it gave me the time to regroup, reset, and get myself in there in order to take them out, and then just really one-on-one the rendering beetle, which was definitely the best way to do it. But there you have it, everybody. That was Scenario 10, Into the Darkness. Technically, the halfway point of the adventure. There's 20 scenarios in total, but you don't play... It's really more than the halfway point in a sense, because you don't play like 5 of them, because they're all those are the character-specific ones. Like, again, for this one, we're skipping technically scenario 12, so we'll do 11 next, up the window, and then jump right to 13 in order to continue the story, which, again, the last actual scenario is 20. So, but regardless of anything, that is half the scenarios through the book in a way. What did we get for scenario 10? First, we got the Drop of Element Potion. This is going to be really handy, especially if you were a Spellweaver. During your turn, create 2 of any element, and you can create the same element twice. No one's saying that you can't, which is awesome, and that is something that just kind of pops in during your turn. So you can trigger this after all the enemies have gone, which is really, really awesome and very, very helpful. Probably one of the better element items out there. You also get a drop of Stamina Potion. Equally is more powerful, I should say. During your turn, recover 1 level 1 card from your hand or discard pile to its A side. From your, I think it's supposed to be to your hand. Basically, the way it is, if you have a level 1 card in your discard pile, or if it's a level B in your hand too, you flip it to your A side, and then that comes back to you. So it's basically giving you more turns and keeping you in the game longer, because the only thing that's really crazy about Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs is that it does the lost mechanic where you lose a card, but each card is double-sided. So you're losing 2 every time, which is worse than the actual game. It's the one issue with it that I have, but I get why the way it is. It just, there's so many great things about this, trust me, and then it's just going to get even better as we go along. The next one that we do when we do Scenario 11 is a level 3. That's a standard one as well. Just another fun run-around beat 'em up. But then after that, we'll be level 4 and then power up even more. So, in order not to miss that or any other future Gloomhaven things that I put out for you to enjoy, because I will get back into the video game version of this very soon that I've been playing on the Switch, be sure you are subscribed to the Home Gamer Dad. If you wish to support the channel even further, there are a bunch of ways to do that down in the description section below. But as always, your view, your likes, your comments, your shares, whatever it is that you guys want to do like that, go a long, long way to helping the channel, and is super appreciative by me. Thank you all so, so much. Let me know what you think of Cragheart down in the comment section below, or just your general opinions of Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs. How have you been doing with this? It's been a while since I did a scenario for this, so I'm kind of curious if there's any new stories out there of your own experiences and your own adventures through this. But until next time, you guys take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together. Thank you all again. Toad and the wet sprocket rending beetle. You guys are gone from here. Next time we take on, well, more big bugs. Until then, have a good one.